Okay, people, flat out, if you're not watching the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War anime at this point, you're missing out. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're just all over the place right now. You're dropping the ball big time, people, because Bleach right now is, I'm gonna say it, fam. I gotta say it. Straight up and down on some absolute peak and greatness, because this episode, I don't care. We're not going into none of that pacing stuff, because this episode, despite the fact that so many things happened, despite the fact that it did feel fast paced, it worked for it so freaking well. It had me on the edge of my chair from start to finish. It had some of my favorite moments from when I read this back in the days 10 years ago. It was just mwah. Honestly, this was, in my opinion, the best episode of the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, and a lot of people have been saying that here and there with the last few episodes, but bar none, this episode of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War was insane. So many things happened, progressing this war in a major way, and chef's kiss to whoever put this together in terms of adding so much epicness, so much just oomph to all of what this episode entailed, down to the freaking music. There was cues in particular with the Asnodt and Byakuya situation that I was like, yo, this feels nerve-wracking. This feels menacing. This feels like what I should feel like during this battle, during this war. And yeah, they're executing it properly, because people, from fight to fight that we had a lot of fights going on, and all of them had some major relevance to moving things along. Because off rip, you got the continuing of the Seireitei falling apart. You got Jidambo looking like, I don't know if he's under control of the Stern Ritters. Maybe one of them have some sort of power to control, or maybe Jidambo himself is a Bankai. No, but you see Jidambo's tearing up the headquarters. You got Ichigo raging straight up mad, so to speak, because he is stuck in the Garganta. He can't get out. At the very least, it looked like Urahara put down Stern Ritter J. It looked like Kyuuge was pretty much down for the count at this point, which, again, I don't know how I feel about how Kyuuge was done in the anime and the manga. He just felt so, I don't know, strong, like you can't mess with him in the anime. He's kind of been hit or miss, but that's pretty much the only downside, if you want to call it that I would say about this episode, because once you get to everything happening in the Seireitei, everything going down is like, Kyuuge who? Like, don't get me wrong, it's messed up, and I want Ichigo to get out of there, because you could tell that he is in despair. One of Ichigo's core character traits is, I want to protect my friends, and the fact that he knows Rukia, Renji, everybody is going through it in the Seireitei, and he is stuck in there. That's like what would have happened when the whole Aizen situation went down. If he would have been stuck in the Garganta, dude would have lost his freaking mind, come out of there bald or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been catastrophic. So I feel Ichigo's pain, because your people's is getting absolutely wrecked, because we cut off to one of the most key fights so far that we got in this 1000 Year Blood War, with Byakuya versus Asnodt. And Asnodt, not only is he a fearsome foe, not only is he a creepy foe, not only did he just rob Byakuya's Bankai, making him kind of, you know, a lot more power down and a little bit skeptical, he is playing mind games with him and showcasing, yo, dog, what you're feeling right now, it ain't poison. Like, how menacing you gotta be to make Byakuya Kuchiki think that he's poisoned because he's so scared of you? Like, just take that into account for a second. Like, this is a dude, Byakuya Kuchiki, that he ain't never scared. What? He ain't never scared. What? He ain't never scared. He is a rational thinker. He is somebody that is calculated. He is somebody that has been a captain for 100 million years. Okay, not 100 million years, but he's been a captain for a good minute. He is somebody that people look up to. They look to for guidance and whatnot. So to see him get scared is one hell of a feat. And then on top of that, dog, I gotta give props to Asnodt, dog, because not only is it Byakuya there, but you also got Renji. And for a moment there, they think they're gonna try to jump Asnodt and, you know, use Zabimaru and shit like that, and it was not happening, because Asnodt is an absolute monster. And yeah, this part in the manga, I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, a lot of people are very extremely upset to a certain degree, because following, you know, their little dibble dabbling in combat and whatnot, you see, of course, that Asnodt has Byakuya essentially pinned, smashed into a wall, and you see his Zanpakuto break. And one of the big things about the Zanpakuto has always been that, hey, if that thing breaks, it's over. So right now, Byakuya is essentially supposed to be dead. Will he be dead? Will he not? In the next episode, we will find out. But that is definitely something that fans was like, oh my god, his Zanpakuto shattered. That's it. It's over. And to see a foe do such damage, you could throw the argument maybe you wanted a whole episode for this, because I could have taken a whole episode for this. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the fight itself, just, it was raw. This whole war right now, it feels freaking raw. So you got all of this going on. You got Asnodt toying with him. You got Byakuya on the ropes, so to speak, essentially trying to fight his Bankai with his Shikai that Asnodt points out. How's that working out for you there, buddy? Like, not too good, right? So you got all of that going on, and then on top of that, you got Byakuya taking the L, and then Renji thinking that he's about to do something. Then you got this masked freak that freaking drop kicks him all the way through the damn Seireitei, and it's madness. Now, granted, you can see the intellectual differences between some of these Stern Ritters, so to speak, as Asnodt points out to Master Masculine. Dog, why did you do that? He was just about to use his Bankai. You could have stolen it. What are you doing? And the luchador idiot says, oh, I thought it was only the captains. And he made sure to break it down, which again shows the level of strategy that Yhwach or Yhwach or Yhwach. I heard when Genryusai was referring to him, he said something like Yhwach. So we're going to go with Yhwach? No, we're going to go with whatever comes to mind, because I've been reading so many different translations and pronunciations of this freaking name for how many years now? Yhwach. Essentially, they had a plan, because he's like, you didn't read the data book good enough, you know what I'm saying? You didn't read the manifesto that would have told you that who has the Bankais and whatnot. So again, this is why the Seireitei and everybody is getting their asses handed to them. They came with the utmost strategy down to who has what ability in order to counter them, in order to take them down. Like, this is a strategic war, and again, I gotta give it to the Stern Ritter, dog. Like, look what's going on. And of course, amongst all of this stuff, you got Zaraki Kenpachi dibbling and dabbling, and we'll get to a little more of that Zaraki greatness, because Zaraki was putting in work too. What was it? He put down 2-3 Stern Ritter or something like that. Hold on. Gotta give it to the boy Zaraki, even though he needs a golden calculator. I'm sorry, I'm having a bit too much fun talking about this incredible episode. Also want to quickly note that when everything was going on with Byakuya, it looked like Rukia took some sort of fatal blow. She was turning around in the middle of fighting one of the Stern Ritter to go help out Byakuya, and then suddenly that foe was like, yo, oh, you turning around during a battle, right? Oh, you think she's sweet around here? Let me show you something. And we just see blood spatter go while Rukia is running, so Rukia might have taken a fatal blow. But then we cut to Captain Yamamoto versus another one of the Stern Ritter that apparently stole Sasakibe's Bankai. And considering we kind of skated over, like, you know, the whole funeral and everything that was supposed to happen with Sasakibe, I was a little bit skeptical how this part was going to play out, but another clap, because they made a character that I even forgot about for so many years, to be honest with you. Sasakibe coming back around to Bleach and whatnot. They made this moment that much more special, despite the fact that they didn't really focus in on his death or like that in the previous episodes. Because this dude that stole Sasakibe's Bankai, he's straight up going into it, and the Bankai looks like very, very hacked, you would say. Apparently it hadn't been used in like 2,000 freaking years or so, and it looked like it could control weather or something. And we get the flashback of Yamamoto in his younger days before his hair turned all white, and how basically Sasakibe was trying to essentially be his right-hand man, even all the way so many years. This has to be, what, 2,000 years plus back of when he first tried to, like, yo, dog, I want to rock with you or whatnot. He wasn't even Yamamoto's student. He wasn't anything to him, but he saw how epic he was. And I love, you know, it's a little bit more intricate. Maybe some people ain't going to understand about the Japanese letters on his forehead and whatnot, but essentially because of the characteristics of it, it would have Yamamoto having a certain nickname. I think it was A, and then ultimately because, and this is why Sasakibe left such a mark on Yamamoto, not only looking at him like, yo, you're a great warrior, I gotta be your right-hand man, but he literally changed his whole nickname that he really freaking hated by hitting him with that Bankai. He told him, yo, you'd be my right-hand man. Like, yeah, show me that Bankai then. I told you, which props to Sasakibe obtaining a Bankai only 1 month after Yamamoto said, you want to rock me, go find a Bankai. Go get a Bankai. Come back when you got a Bankai there, buddy. And it took him a month, and he comes back with a godly Bankai that gotta make you wonder, wait, so Genryu Sai, which he even got that name after the fact as well, fought against this god tier Bankai, whipped its ass, called it a baby Bankai basically. What type of powers is Genryu Sai looking at? Like, what type of powers is Genryu Sai rocking with if he was able to do all of that to Sasakibe? And yeah, that whole flashback was just beautifully done. Art, animation, the story about it, the relationship between Genryu Sai and Sasakibe, only that much more amplifies why in the current timeline Genryu Sai is angry. He is upset. He is pissed off. So much so that he pretty much straight away melts, burns to death this Stern Ritter right in front of us. Like, yo, that was my man's stuff. Like, no, we're not playing like that. And I was just like, yes, this is easily the most epic moment of Genryu Sai, and this is easily going into some of the most epic stuff with the Captain Commander of the entirety of Bleach. Like, dog, he's melting the enemy out of anger. What makes you think, like, you know what I'm saying, is going to be anything less than when he goes up against the head person that calculated and choreographed this whole freaking invasion of the Seireitei that led to Sasakibe's death, okay? And Genryu Sai's rage is clearly shown to a lot of the captains that were feeling a little bit down, like, dog, they stealing our bankais, they're kicking our asses, like, what can we do? So much so he inspires them to get up and like, nah, dog, Toshiro Hisugaya is telling Masamoto, like, yo, tuck your breasts in a little bit more, we got some more battling to do, let's freaking go. Or maybe that was me that said she should tuck. Well, no, I don't want her to tuck them in. I want to anyway. Following all of that epicness, I thought the episode was over. I was like, oh wow, what an incredible freaking episode. Then we cut to the end, because prior to all of that, it looked like Zaraki Kenpachi was getting ready to go up against the head of the Quincy invasion army. It looked like it was about to be Bach versus Kenpachi. After Kenpachi already slayed a couple of people, he ripped one's throat out. The other one turned into Zaraki, and he had to fight him for a little bit. He was like, oh, I just had to be better than me. Yo, Zaraki Kenpachi, so fucking epic. So we had that aspect. And then you cut to the end, and Zaraki Kenpachi has seemingly been defeated by this guy, Bach. This arc, shall I say, this whole war, shall I say, is phenomenal, dog. Genryu Sai rushing in there in a rage, looking like we just got the biggest setup in the world for Genryu Sai versus the leader of the Quincy's, of the Stern Ritter and all that. I ain't gonna lie, this is the best episode. Fuck that shit. I'm repeating myself throughout this whole thing of what I've been thinking since I watched this episode. Best episode of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War thus far. Episode 5. The amount of action with some sort of consequences and changing things, right? It's not just like punching for the sake of punching. It's not just slashing for the sake of slashing. Major game-changing things are happening in this whole battle. It's changing a lot of the whole structure of the Seireitei. I mean, for crying out loud, down to Jidambo stomping motherfuckers out. Poor Akon. Now he's gonna really be locked up. This was amazing. Honestly, if you're not watching the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War and you've seen all of Bleach up until that point, shame on you. Go rectify that situation. Go watch this show, because this episode, I can't stress enough, dog. So much nostalgia, but with a fresh, beautiful coat of paint, art, animation. The music, again, I gotta stress, phenomenal. Like, that's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get all notifications. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, baby. This is so epic. Ah!